Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, Shine Crew. What's going on? It is a new day. It is a new day. I am so excited about today. Good morning, Latera. Good morning. Good morning. It is a new day. And welcome. Hello, Coretta. Hello, Latera. Hey, Miss Vita. How are you guys doing this morning? For those of you who don't know, my name is Andrea Harrison. I am the Chief Shine Officer and Show Up Strategist. And you know what? I gotta give my girl Tara some props. And I'm gonna have to let y'all hear this again because we have a new intro this morning. I don't know if you noticed. I don't know if you got here in time to hear it, but we have a new intro this morning. Hey, Miss Jen. Hey, Anita. And y'all got to hear this intro. Okay. So let me know if you can hear this. Let me see. I should be able to play it while I'm live here. Let's see if you can hear the intro. Can y'all hear that? Miracles and blessings. Shine down. I hope y'all can hear it. Y'all can hear that? Isn't that hot, y'all? That is our music made by the one, the only Lady Free.
Black Giggle.
Okay, so let's go ahead and stop that. And y'all, I'm so excited about this morning. I know that you guys are excited as well. Shine Crew, come through. Listen, if you haven't already, go ahead and share this broadcast so that your friends and your family, your Facebook family can come and join us this morning, because I can guarantee you, especially if those of you followed my lead and listened to her masterclass. That's what it was supposed to be. That was just a fancy word for it. When she went from teaching to preaching. Yeah, my girl, Cheryl Pullins, is in the building. And if you listened to that, then my girl is on fire, okay? My girl is on fire, and she's going to bring it this morning. So go ahead. Jan said, already done. Jan said that was a master message. It sure was. It sure was. Listen, if she was wearing a wig, she would have flipped that thing off, baby. Let me tell you, okay? Woo! So, if you didn't see it, I'm going to play a clip so that you can get a taste of what you're about to get this morning. All right? So, listen, y'all. Y'all ain't ready. I'm just going to say it. Y'all ain't ready. Y'all ain't ready. Y'all ain't ready. Okay, here we go, y'all. This is who is going to be hanging out with us for the next hour.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna bring it home. Again, if you want to keep, I want you to keep the conversation going. Again, it's not with me, not just with me, but with yourself as well. Go to ibelieve.womenwhocoach.com. ibelieve.womenwhocoach.com. Because I promise you, I tell you, your ability to believe in yourself is going to shift you out of being stuck. Your ability to believe in the gifts and the talents and the skills that God's given you, that belief is going to shift you out of being stuck. But you gotta know the stories you're telling yourself. You gotta know the beliefs you've been holding for decades and decades. You gotta know the beliefs that were instilled in you when you were a kid that you've been living from that have nothing to do with you. Yeah. Yeah. You talking about being stuck no more? That's where it starts. It starts with believing in yourself, and then you invoke the Holy Spirit and you ask the Holy Spirit, show me where I'm not believing in what God's placed on the inside of me. Show me where I don't believe in the gifts and the talents, the skills and the abilities. Show me where I'm not showing up, taking care of my ground, tilling my soil. Show me where I'm not nurturing what's been placed in my hands because I'm so busy looking at. Show me. Okay? Ask him to show you. Bring to remembrance things that you've done that you totally forgotten about. Do you know how many things I've done in my lifetime that I have totally forgotten about until I sit down and start to remember? I build part of that self muscle by remembering. Okay, so I want to say this. We talk a lot about imposter.
Okay, y'all, I'm not gonna give it all to you. I'm not gonna give it all to you. You gotta go watch it for yourself. You gotta go watch it for yourself. Listen, I'm not gonna wait any longer. I'm bringing my girl to the stage. This is my heart. Whew. Y'all get your notebooks out. Get your fancy writing utensils out because she fancy, y'all. If your pen don't have diamonds on it, if your book don't have pearls on it, just like okay, y'all listen. This is my girl, Cheryl Pullins.
Hey, Shine Crew.
You look beautiful as usual.
Oh, thank you, and you do too.
Oh,
you
thank
do
you.
too.
Thank
I
you.
knew not to come on here without any pearls on.
Well, I felt the same way. I was like, I can't show up with Cheryl and not have pearls on.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. So here we are, girls and their pearls.
Oh, Cheryl, it is so good to have you here.
Pearls across the world. I love that, Stevie.
Yes.
I love that. Pearls
And of
across the
course,
world. Ooh, I like that.
red lips are on
Red
point.
lips, yes, always, always.
Oh, how you
gosh,
feeling
you
this
guys are
morning?
awesome. Awesome.
How you feeling this morning?
Fantastic. Fantastic. I'm feeling great. Feeling great. Still riding the wave of the live stream. Pardon me. And just taking that. I knew I was going to be here this morning, so I'm like, I'm going to take that right into, being with Andrea and the Shine crew today. So that'll give me some momentum to just roll right into the weekend.
Well, yeah, whatever God did in and through you on, what was that, Thursday? Wednesday, Thursday? Wednesday. Whatever God did in and through you on Wednesday, definitely, especially because of, I hear feedback. I can hear my voice. Is that coming from your
I don't
side?
hear it.
Let me just make sure okay. Hello? I can still hear it, and I don't know where it's coming from. I don't know where it's coming from.
I don't hear it.
Okay. I hear it. It's distracting me, but I'm
Yeah, I
gonna.
understand.
Oh, Stevie says she hears it too. Dr. Stevie says she
Oh.
hears it. It's like a feedback.
Mm.
Okay, I'm gonna try and. It's not my. Okay, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try and get through it without it distracting me because me with my ADHD, like this is huge for me. because any little thing distracts.
Oh, I understand. I totally understand.
Oh, okay. So whatever God did in and through you that day, it blessed a lot of people. It impacted a lot of lives, and I think it really prepared us to hear from you today. And I just need to say that I love that, Cheryl. I love that, Cheryl. And I know it's all you, right? But I love that, Cheryl. And like I told you that night when we talked, I want to see more of that, Cheryl.
Yeah, I think I want more of that, Cheryl. I think, but Andrea, that has come with being on this journey. This, I tell people, especially the entrepreneurial journey,
Mm-hmm.
it's nothing like any other. It's nothing like any other journey, in my opinion, because you are so entrenched and ingrained in what you are doing that all different facets and parts of you and who you are and how you've been, and the triggers and the switches that can get flipped and all those different things, you learn a whole lot about yourself.
Yes.
A whole lot. And having been on this journey for over a decade, I've learned a whole lot about myself, about my beliefs, about my ideas, my thoughts,
Mm-hmm.
the things that uh, compel me, the things that just keep me from being who God called me to be, and all of those things. And I think what's starting to happen is I'm finally starting to believe that God made me the way He made me.
Wait, you're just starting to believe that, right? Um, and you know what? Somebody once said that the level of your action is equivalent
Oh yeah.
to the level of your belief. Somebody once said that, and it couldn't be more true. Yes. In June 2019, at the Unleash Your Brilliance conference in Tampa, Florida,
Whoa.
Cheryl Pullins, I don't know if you're familiar
Whoa.
with her, but she said the level of your action is equivalent to your level of belief. What do you think
Andrea,
about that?
How you gonna use my own words? How you gonna use my own words? Like, no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, go ahead, take a sip.
Mm. Yeah, I need a sip of coffee on that one. Okay. But
So,
it's true.
yes.
It's true. And that was 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
That was 5 years ago. And I have literally walked that out.
Mm.
Andrea, I always say, a lot of what I say and a lot of what I teach, it's not theory. It's
Right.
not theory. It's stuff that I've actually experienced, I've walked through, I've dealt with, I've encountered, and all I can do is just be transparent,
Right.
and share the lessons along the way, the
Mm-hmm.
experiences along the way, because I believe that's how others grow, you know.
And it's really true, because one thing that I've learned over this year and 3 or 4 month journey is that me showing up, and this is based on what people tell me. This is the messages
Mhm.
I get, the emails that I get. My Shine crew has told me this. It's me showing up, and you actually told me this as well. It's me showing up that gives other people the encourages other people or inspires other people to do the same. And we don't realize that, because we over here we're just trying to make it. We're just trying to wake up the next morning,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And we don't realize that even in the things the times where we're so unsure about who we are,
Mhm.
the times where we have such a hard time in believing what
Mhm.
God created us for, what He designed us to do. Even
Yeah.
in those times, we are ministering to somebody else.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, we are. And I excuse me, when I started this journey, and in particular in terms of being an entrepreneur, because that's where a lot of this began to unearth,
Mhm.
a lot of this began to come to surface. And when I started this journey, I started as a life coach. And I've probably never said it this way. I think I've always said it in a way that I didn't want to sound like I was ungrateful.
Mhm.
But starting when I started as a life coach, having come off of a 20 plus corporate career, and you know what that's like, I didn't feel like being a life coach was enough.
Right.
Now, I've never said that before out of my mouth until
Mm.
today. But that's the truth that I came to and realized that because I didn't feel like being a life coach was enough, because I didn't understand the calling and the role that it would play in the lives of the people I would serve. I was like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to spend these were my words. I don't want to spend all day doing that.
Mm. Wow.
Really. So then I was like, I went in search of, I'm like, I need something else. I need the other side of my brain, the logical side of my brain to be able to, And so after a while, I became a mentor. I was the woman entrepreneur's mentor. Now, mind you, I was branding myself back then and didn't even realize it when I became the woman entrepreneur's mentor. Excuse me, that's who I branded myself as. And I did that for a good while, and then I was like, well, I want to narrow, and I want to niche down. And that happened because I went through two, not one, two, you know how overachievers are, right? I went through two branding programs with two different people because I liked what each one of them brought. They brought something different. So I went through one, and then when that was over, I went through the next one. So I spent close to a year working on branding myself. And that's when the message about being iconic came out. So I decided, you know what? I love this process. This is an amazing process. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to teach women how to brand themselves. I'm going to learn about branding. I'm just going to saturate myself in as much information as I can so that I can be an effective brand strategist, and I can help women show up and do what they've been called to do. Yeah, that's it. That's the thing. And while that's part of it, it's not all of it. And I've been functioning over the past years as if that's all of it.
Yep.
And I think not I think, and so now I've stepped into this season where life has come full circle,
Mhm.
and I'm bringing back front and center part of this idea of life coaching and really helping women to ignite the belief in themselves.
Yes.
So that's why I'm now saying believe in yourself, brand yourself, and then we can talk about monetizing your gifts.
Mm-hmm.
So,
That's what you taught me. It's what you taught me from the very beginning. And a lot of people don't know, but Cheryl is the one who certified me as a branding coach. The almost everything that I've learned about branding, I learned through Cheryl. And of course, it just went along with who I am. I mean, as far
mhm,
as like marketing and promoting and all of that stuff. But you really, um, you walked it out, but you really taught me how to brand myself, especially in an industry where everybody's doing the same thing, everybody is selling the same product.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
you really showed me how important it is to stand out from the crowd. You taught
Mm-hmm.
me about consistency in my brand, and you taught me that I am the brand. You made that
Mm-hmm.
very clear,
Mm-hmm.
but I agree with you where those are the things that we've learned. Those are skills, but I think both of us had to get to a point where we not stop doing it,
Right.
but
Mm-hmm.
where we kind of transition into walking in our purpose,
Yeah.
our God-given
Yeah.
purpose. And you can do both,
Yes. Oh, absolutely, you can.
because
Yeah.
if branding is truly about who you are,
Yeah.
then holding that side of you back, you're doing a disservice not to only to yourself, but to the people that you are assigned to.
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. So now I'm walking in this space of I've especially since especially since a couple nights ago. Um, I've been walking and thinking and going, man, God, like this is it took a while. It took a while to get here, but
Hmm.
all of the experiences, all the work, all the things that
Hmm.
I've discovered about myself. And I was having a conversation with someone the other day, and we were talking about our wounds and how a lot of our wounds um, are tied to our relationship with our mothers. And I'm not even going to get into that one because that one goes really, really deep.
Hmm.
And because one of the coaching program I did a couple years ago, they were talking about it, and I sat there like this because I made an instant connection to the idea of it, and it made a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
And so just in discovering those things, and now going, okay, now I can do even deeper surgery, if you will,
Hmm.
because now I understand the root of some things. And that's how I got to the idea that imposter syndrome is really a symptom. We talk a lot about it, but it is a symptom of something that is deep, much deeper.
Hmm.
And once I started following that and going deeper with that, I'm like, man, oh man, there's so many women, they'll never be able to stand in the full power of who God created them to be because they are bogged down with this sludge, with this kind of stuff that is going through their minds and through their hearts. I spent a lot of time teaching on unforgiveness when I first started,
Hmm.
or forgiveness, actually. I spent a lot of time teaching about forgiveness and the power of it and how you have to do it if you really want to be set free.
Yeah. Because it really is for you. It's
It
not for the other person.
100% for you,
Hmm.
because otherwise your body holds all of that trauma, all of that traumatic feeling toward another individual. Your body holds all of that,
Hmm.
and you gotta walk through a forgiveness process, what I call a forgiveness process, in order to open that up and to do something about removing that unforgiveness, because it is definitely a blockage for you. The other person is walking around tululuing,
Not
and
thinking nothing about you.
they done moved on,
Hmm.
probably doing the same thing to someone else with
I
no
was just
regard.
thinking
You know
that.
what I mean?
Yep.
So you have to go through the process of releasing that, for your releasing them, and releasing what happened for yourself. And I
Hmm.
have a number of stories where I had to do that.
Wow. Wow. So, Cheryl, I always forget, how long has it been that we've known each other?
Oh, I can tell you exactly. It's going on in February of 2025. It'll be 10 years.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I remember the day that I met you. And
Yes.
looking back on that day, what I saw was, wow, where did she come from? She is so elegant. She knows what she's doing. She's so confident. She's got everything together. Look at all the paperwork and stuff that she came with. We got all this stuff. We have a project to do, and she brought all of the supplies. And I mean, I was just like blown away by you. The day I met you, I was just like, I need her in my life. I want to be friends with her forever. She's she's got it all together. Look how beautiful she is. Look how she's dressed. I think you had on a denim jacket, but you were dressed up. I think. And you may have changed during
So
the day.
the picture that was on the workbook, I did have on a denim jacket.
Okay, so maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, that
Okay.
day I had on a black I had on a black like
Just
dress, like coat thingy, coat dress thingy
okay.
something. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
But yeah, that was the woman that I saw. And I think that, and I know how you felt, and I know the behind the scenes of that event now. I didn't know it then. And I
Mhm.
think this is so crucial for people to hear, because nobody wants to start because they want everything to be perfect, and they don't think that they are worthy enough. They don't think that, they do not believe that they were called to do what they're doing, and they don't want to do the event because who's going to show up? How many people are going to be there? I mean, it
Mhm.
was the same reason I didn't even want to start Shine with Andrea. But when
Mhm.
I walked into that room where I was in my life,
Mhm.
I was hanging on to every word you said. If you would have told me, Andrea, walk out the door and go walk in traffic, I probably would have done it. Like, that's, I needed you at that moment. And I don't think we realize how much people need us. And we're so worried about all
Mhm.
the wrong things. So tell the
Mhm.
people,
Mhm.
where were you February of 2015?
Well, this is an interesting story because so in February 2015, wow. A few months prior, at the end of in November 2014, I had just moved to Florida for the second time. And I moved to Florida because my husband and I were going through a separation. And the one sounds funny now. It wasn't funny then, but it sounds funny now. One of the conditions of the separation was that he moved me back to Florida where I wanted to be. Now that's not why we were separated, but that was one of the requests that I made, was that he moved me back to Florida. So in November, I moved back to Florida, and I wanted to establish myself in Tampa. I wanted to have some type of presence. So I decided that I was going to do an event. And up until that up until that point, things were pretty okay because I was busy. I was doing a lot of things. I had just moved. The week after I moved, I did a TED talk in the
Mhm.
state of Pennsylvania. 1 week later, I when I look back and go, I don't know how I got through some of that stuff. It's like, girl, and these are stories that I probably haven't told a whole lot of that I need to,
Mhm.
because like you said, people are looking, they think you got it all together, they think everything is perfect, and honey, your whole situation is falling apart, and you trying to be like, don't look at the man behind the curtain. um
Mhm.
so so a week later I'm doing this TED talk, and then it was 2 weeks after that, it was Thanksgiving, so my children came to spend Thanksgiving with me because they didn't want me to be by myself. Then it was Christmas. So here we are now. We're in January fresh new year, and I'm like, you know what, I want to do something, I want to have an event, I want to do something. And I had the event, and I when I look back now, every event that I've ever done has always been like a micro event, meaning it's usually 25 people or less.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know that was like a thing. I
Yep.
really didn't. And I've been doing them that way ever since.
Mm-hmm.
And I think eventually, y'all, as I tell stories, I'm just gonna teach you along the way because that's just how I'm
That's what we're
wired.
here for.
I had to eventually become okay with the fact that, Cheryl, that's the type of events you do.
Mm-hmm.
What you're doing and the way that you are wired, and God has gifted you to uh, pour into women, you got to be in there with them. And you
Mm-hmm.
can't do that with 500 people in the room. You know, now, of course, if I'm in a room with 500 people, I'm going to do what I do
You sure are, and you and did.
and have. You know, but for me, for my events, and for what God has called me to, I love these intimate spaces that I can create, that women can come into and feel safe in,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't want women to come in to have a woo-hoo ha-ha moment and then to leave and be like, okay, that was cool, but now I still got to go out here and face the stuff that I'm being faced with when
Right.
I leave out of this event.
Right.
So when their events are smaller, it allows me to really, really get in there. So
Mm-hmm.
anyway, so I did the event, and it was honestly, it wasn't, the event itself was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what was going on in my life at the time was crazy. It was. It was. And I remember, so I had the event, and then right in that same window, I had a major emotional meltdown. Right in the same window of that event, I had a major emotional meltdown. And the major emotional meltdown was me finally sitting still long enough to feel the effects of my husband and I being separated.
Wow.
Because I had not done that. Because your girl was moving. I was
Mm-hmm.
moving. I was doing, and I was moving because there were things that I had to do. I had to plan a move. I had to get movers. I had to ship my car. No, I didn't ship it. I put it on an auto train. I had to do all of these different things. I didn't have time to, and one of my friends, I don't know if you know Dr. Will Moreland,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yep.
Dr. Will was I will never forget him saying this to me, and it helped me in the moment that I needed. He said, Cheryl, right now, he's like, you gotta remove the emotion from what's going on. You gotta remove it. He's like, otherwise you're not gonna be able to function.
Mm-hmm.
And to this day, I appreciate him saying that to me. Now, of course, that's a male perspective,
Right.
and that's what I wanted.
Right.
But it helped me get through. I mean, come on. I'm doing a TED talk a week after I put my car in the auto train to leave my husband.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just keeping it real because that's what it was,
Right.
right? We weren't mad at each other. We weren't friends either, but I was leaving nonetheless. And so to be able to get through all of that, I did. I had to remove to put a lid on the emotion of it all. But honey, I'm gonna tell you this: when that pressure cooker
Mm.
exploded, it was not pretty.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, it rained here for like 3 weeks.
Welcome to Florida.
And I don't do well in the rain and gray skies. And it just added another layer. And I
Mm-hmm.
had a tough time. I had a tough time for it was about a whole week. I had a really, really tough time. And I'll never forget that I was supposed to go to an event with For the Girls International, FTGI.
Yes. Yes.
And it was my first time going to one of their events. And it was their annual conference. And the founder, Tracy,
Mm-hmm.
invited me. She's like, Cheryl, Just she's like, you're come as my guest. So I was like, okay, cool. So that day, oh, that day was the worst of the meltdown, the emotional meltdown. I sat on the side of my bed and I cried and I cried. I literally cried myself to sleep, like literally. And I had decided that I wasn't going to the event. I'm
Wow.
like, I'm not going. And God's like, stop playing. Yes, you are.
And can
Yes,
you
you are.
imagine? Can you imagine if you would have said that about the event that you had that I showed up at, that I wasn't supposed to be there because I think what somebody canceled, like, or they couldn't come, and then I ended up getting a ticket from
Yeah.
the organization, the networking organization I was a part of.
Yes.
Imagine if you would have said, "I'm not going to show up."
Yep. 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 So so God was like, yeah, no, we're not doing that. I'm gonna let you have this moment though.
Mm.
And when you're finished, you're going to get up and get dressed and you're going to that
Ooh,
event.
ooh. And when you're finished, you can
And when you're
have this
finished,
moment,
you have
but
it.
when you're finished,
Yep. Yeah. And that's
that's
exactly
good.
what happened. I had my moment. I was like, okay, I'm going to go. So, so I did. I did. I went. And from that moment on, from that moment on, things started to shift and to heal and to change and to I met one of my dearest friends there. And so when you ask me what was going on when I did that event in February, that's everything. That's
Wow.
what was going on.
Wow.
That's what was going on. And I guess if I had to say, somewhere in there, I guess there was just a glimmer of hope.
Mm.
It was just a glimmer of hope. Where I was in terms of my belief about things, I don't even know.
Mm.
I don't know. I don't know. I think it was more about I was hanging on to hope. The hope that something I do would impact a woman's life. The hope that in my doing this event, in my sharing what I do, you know speaking to all of this, my hope is that somebody's life will be changed in some way, that they'll see the value of who they are and what they bring to the world. That in spite of everything going on in my life, I still hang on to the hope that something I can say can help someone else.
Well, you know what's really funny is that I don't remember everybody that was in the room, but I was there. Lena Wilson was there. That's when I met her.
Yes, that was the first time I met Lena.
And I think Nakia was there.
Nakia was there. Yep.
And so if you think about the lives of just those three women
Mm, mm,
and how what you did impacted just the three of us,
mm,
you
mm.
holding on to that hope allowed us to see the light. I
Wow.
remember 2014 was, I think it was May or June, is when I left my paralegal career behind.
Okay.
In
Mm-hmm.
August, I think it was the year before, August 2013 is when I started my event design and decor business.
Mm-hmm.
A year later, I walked away from my paralegal career and I did my event design business, as you know, for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And where I was when I walked into that room on Howard Street or Avenue in, I'll never forget that studio,
Mm-hmm.
Tampa, Florida.
Mm-hmm.
I was a brand new, real entrepreneur. I was a paralegal for over 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
I was a year into, at that, no, 2 years into, at that point, my entrepreneur journey. I was attending a woman's networking, I had a membership in a women's networking, um, what do you call it? Women's networking.
Mm-hmm.
I had a membership. I was showing up at the events. I was very unsure of who I was. I was still transitioning from being that career woman, being that paralegal with that title, the title that defined me. I
Mm-hmm.
was still dealing with the transition of understanding who I was and what I brought to the table, not the paralegal and not the
Yeah.
designer.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it was meeting people like you and hearing the stories from people like you. And
Mm-hmm.
here I am walking into that studio, seeing you at this event. I would not have gotten what I gotten. And I don't know that we would have connected the way that we did and still remain friends till this day if it was a room full of 500 other women.
Right.
So we
Right.
have to really trust God in what he's doing. And we have
Mm-hmm.
to stop looking at what everybody else is doing and
Yes.
realize that that is not what God called
Yes.
you to do.
Yes.
And I just don't know what my life would look like really without you in it. I
Mm-hmm.
have three main people in my life that entered my life after or at the end of my paralegal journey and kind of ushered me into entrepreneurship,
Mm-hmm.
this part of my journey.
Mm-hmm.
And I always say I've got Cheryl's fingerprint on me, I've got Rashonda's fingerprint on me, and I've got TJ's fingerprint on me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
That's some good company, doggone it. That's some good company.
when I think about the things that I've done, I only did them because I saw somebody like you do them.
Mm.
I have always wanted to have my own talk show. I have always wanted to speak at events. And because I was a career woman entering into the entrepreneurship space as a designer, I did not know how to pull that all together. A speaker, how am I going to even prove to somebody that I can speak? And I remember distinctly, here I am frustrated that I couldn't get on anybody's stage because I don't have any experience. I don't have a speaking resume, or a speaker sheet or any of that.
Right.
So who's going to trust me? Who's going to invite me? Right. I didn't know what I was doing. So I couldn't walk in that gift. That's why we all got to start somewhere. And I remember you said to me, don't wait for anybody to invite you. You create your own event, you create your own platform.
Yes.
And baby, that was all I needed. That was what gave me what I needed to do all of the events that I did, to put on all the conferences that I did for other women, just based on you showing up and you speaking that to me. And not only that, but showing me how it's done.
Mm-hmm.
And that's who each of us we need to be. If we just had the confidence to stand in what God, stand in the
Yeah.
shoes that God
Yeah.
gave us and realize that the power that we have, if we could just look at us through God's eyes and not through our eyes, seeing all the flaws, seeing what we're not, seeing what we don't have, and just say, well, let me work with what I do got. Yeah, I said it.
Right. 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 When I really think back to this idea of having these micro events, and I want to share this while I'm thinking about it. Because I can be a deep thinker sometimes. I'm like, okay, well, okay, how did
Sometimes.
that even become, like, when is, like, what? And I remember, so you know this, Andrea, but maybe a lot of people watching that don't know. If you don't know, I was married to a pastor for 14 years. That was my my first husband was, he still is actually, but for 14 years I was a pastor's wife. And one of the challenges in being a pastor's wife is finding a safe space.
Mm-hmm.
Finding a space where you actually can sit and be transparent about how you're feeling about things that are happening.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm not saying it's a place where you tell all your business, but a place where you can come and you can be transparent and you can share and people won't judge you and look at you like you crazy,
Right.
or like, girl, that's just the way it is,
Those are sacred spaces.
And I believe that my desire for creating those spaces comes from that. It- when you start to do things and move about the world and do the things God's called you to do, and you're doing them in a certain type of way, but you're looking at what everybody else is doing, you think the way you're doing it is not effective because it doesn't look like somebody else's.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I've now realized that that doing these micro events
Mm-hmm.
is authentic to who I am because it comes from an authentic
Please.
place.
Yes. Yes.
Now, if somebody invites me to a stadium with 15,000 women in it, I'm darn sure going to show up and do what I do.
And you're gonna kill it.
I am. I am. But for me and for what I want to offer, I want to offer women sacred, safe spaces that they can come into and they can, first of all, feel
Yes.
the the warmth of belonging,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And be able to be transparent and say, this is not working, or whatever it is,
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is that they're dealing with, and I be able to really speak to them directly,
Mm-hmm.
and the other women in the room embrace them,
Yes.
right? So that they feel all of that, so when they leave, they have something that they can now hold on to, that can now be a part of their journey that becomes
Mm-hmm.
unforgettable.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to become okay with
Mm-hmm.
that. That the women that I'm called to, that come into my room, they're the leaders.
Yes.
They're the women that are on the front lines,
Mm-hmm.
that are serving women like you,
Mm-hmm.
that are serving other women that you need somewhere to go, so that you can do work that you need to do, so you're not out here bleeding on the people.
Mm. Please don't bleed on the people.
Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah. So uh, uh, this is a great conversation, because through some of this conversation, I'm realizing the things that God has really, I think, been trying to tell me. And I'm like, but no, I want to do it like that. No, look at what they're doing over there, right? But it's not. No, no, no. Stop, 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 stop,
Mm-hmm.
stop. Follow what God has placed in your heart, even if
Mm.
you don't understand why. Follow what he's placed in your heart to do, because it's always for a greater purpose.
Yeah.
And I am just starting to realize the greater purpose of creating places and spaces,
Mm-hmm.
sacred places and spaces,
Mm-hmm.
safe places and spaces for women leaders of leaders, to be able to come into and say, you know what, this ain't working for me, and us have a conversation about it. And yeah, so that was a long way to talk about where I was
Mm-hmm.
in 2015 to the journey of where I am now, and some of the realizations and some of the understanding about who I am and how I'm supposed to show up and serve in the world.
Mm. Well, I'm so happy that you did, and I'm really happy with your transparency because I don't know how much you realize your transparency and you just being your authentic self and not putting on airs, as they say, really helps us other women that are looking up to you, that admire you, that are watching you, that are using you as, the blueprint in a sense, seeing you and saying, if Cheryl can do that, I know I can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Saying, I don't know what to do. Wow. Oh, look what Cheryl just did. Oh my gosh, that gives me an idea. I can do this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Representation is everything.
It really is.
It
It really
really
is.
is. And you represent us well.
Yeah, it really is.
And, us being able to look at you and learn from you, glean from you, from the good and the bad and the ugly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, honey, because
Be-
it's all of that in there.
But the thing is that, Cheryl, I'm just be real. There are so many people out there that they look so perfect and everything is so perfect on screen. They show you what they want you to
Yeah,
see.
yeah.
And you feel like I cannot attain that. I cannot
Mm-hmm.
get there. I cannot do that.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
when I see somebody who is just like, hey, this is who I am,
Yeah,
this is what I do.
yeah.
You want to roll with me? You want to ride with me? Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in
Mm-hmm.
the trenches
Mm-hmm.
with you.
Mm-hmm.
That
Mm-hmm.
makes a whole difference to
Mm-hmm.
women like myself that are holding on.
Mm-hmm.
We just holding on, and we just keep holding on, and we just keep
Yeah,
holding on,
yeah,
and you
yeah.
show us the way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you mentioned a couple times, about people showing up, only showing you the perfect aspects of things, and what I know about perfection and people and their need to show up with this, with perfect patty, right?
Mm,
I think I heard Janet Jackson use that term in a movie one time. I think it was one of the Tyler Perry movies she was in, and she referred to herself as Perfect Patty,
mm,
and she said Perfect Patty messed up. And this idea of perfection and us being perfect,
mhm.
that's actually a form of imposter syndrome.
Yes.
It is. It's a form of imposter syndrome. It's one of the I've been studying, this imposter syndrome and just kind of just looking at it. Of course, I go deeper in terms of looking at it from a deeper level, but I like to understand the symptom of imposter syndrome because I know there are a lot of women who function at that level,
Mm-hmm.
so because it's not perfect. And I've been one of them, because I grew up. First of all, I grew up. Remember, I said about a lot of our emotional wounds, they go back to our relationships with our mothers,
Yes. Yeah.
and it's not just your biological mother either. It's those that have served in the capacity of mother,
Mm-hmm.
because I was adopted.
Mm-hmm.
My biological mother didn't raise me. Once I was 2 years old, she allowed someone else to raise me, so someone else adopted me. And a lot of my perfectionist tendencies
Mm-hmm.
are layered.
Mm-hmm.
Layered from, I like what you just put on the screen, Lisa Bell. Thank you for saying that. Perfection comes from
Mm-hmm.
being rejected your whole life. Always trying to reaching to please people and looking for validation. That is 100% correct,
Mm-hmm.
because I dealt with rejection for a long time as it relates to being adopted.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that piece.
Mm-hmm.
Then my mom that raised me, perfection was required.
Mm.
It was required. You had to do things perfectly or you got in trouble.
Wow.
Big time.
Right. Right.
Big time. The way she dressed me, my sense of style and all that came from her.
Mm-hmm.
Because my mom that raised me, she was a fashion icon in my eyes. I mean, this is a woman. She was much older than me. She born in 1910.
Mm.
Raised in the South, left the South, came to the city up north,
Mm-hmm.
you know, eventually had her own restaurant. And
Wow.
my mom, she would wear these. I'll never forget, she had this coat because I used to go in her room and play in it. She had this black coat, wrap coat, and it had a big giant silver fox collar.
So she's the one who created the monster. Okay, I got
She
it.
created the monster. Yes, 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 yes. She did. Honestly, she did.
Oh, I know.
But with that came this you have to be perfect. You
Mm-hmm.
have to be perfect. Everything has to be, our house, there was nothing out of place in our house. Nothing. Nothing. So I grew up in that environment as
Mm-hmm.
well. And so that perfection is in me, so when I go to do an event and the event is not, if it is not panning out the way I see it in my head, then I don't want to do it. I'm
Mm.
like, I don't want to do it because that's not, I don't see it that way in my head.
Mm.
If I can't get the right venue, if I can't get the, if I can't have the look and the vibe and all that, then I don't want to do it.
If
Well,
it
who does
can't
that
be,
serve?
if it can't be perfect,
Yeah. Who
wow,
does that serve?
wow, wow.
Instead of saying, you know what? Um, yep, we're gonna be in this room and I'm gonna order some catering from somewhere, it's still gonna be nice, but maybe it's not what I perceive as being perfect,
Right,
right?
right.
Um and perfection, I'm in dealing with rejection and perfection. I've spent a lot of my life, dealing with those.
Mm.
Um Rejection in particular, I had to do a lot of work on rejection, a lot of work. When I discovered it, I was actually in college and I was writing an English paper. We had to do research. And the research I did was, what are the effects on adults that were adopted when they were children? That was basically the
Mm.
gist of it. And through the research, I found that rejection was number one. Dealing with rejection was number one. And I was like, oh, that makes sense to me
Wow.
because one of the things I used to do, I don't do it anymore, but I used to walk with my head down. I used to walk with my head down.
Wow.
Now, a lot of times it was misinterpreted. It was misinterpreted as me thinking I was all that. And I
Mm.
only know this because the woman that eventually became my best friend told me.
Wow.
She said, "Let me show you how you walk." And she was walking where she's like, "You walking like you all that, you know." And but it wasn't.
Mm.
That had nothing to do with it. I was walking with my head down because I was afraid that if I spoke to someone or greeted someone, that they wouldn't speak back.
Mm.
So
Wow.
in order for me to avoid it altogether, I walk with my
Yes.
head down. I walk with my head down.
You see the things that we put in place are coping, you know.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Now, I wouldn't have never even realized that I was actually doing that until my best friend told me. We were out one day and we were talking, laughing in the car, and then she had gone to the store. She's like, "Let me show you. Let me show you what you do." And
Mm-hmm.
she showed it to me and we're cracking up. And then she says, "And little did I know that it was nothing about you thinking you were all of that.
Wow.
Nothing at all." And she and I were best friends for 17 years until she died
Mm-hmm.
suddenly. And but now, because I've done so much work,
Mm-hmm.
internal work, um I can walk along. I can say hello to total strangers. I can be like, "Girl, your shoes look good," and I just keep right on moving. I don't internalize
Right.
anything
Right.
because all I'm doing is saying, is being myself now at this point. So yes, I've done a lot of work around the rejection. We still working on perfection though. We still working on it. I consider myself a recovering perfectionist.
Yeah, that can get to some of us, don't want to move, don't want to do things
Yeah.
until it's perfect. But I'm
Yes.
going to tell you, and I know that you know this in your mind. I know
Yeah.
you know it in your
Yeah.
mind, but I want you to really grab it in your heart, because this room right here, with the what was it, 8 of us, 10 of us, 12 of us,
Yeah. 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 I think it was 7 or 8. Yeah.
the
Yeah.
the impact that this had on our lives, with all of us. And I think I started at the end here. The food was amazing.
That food
Um,
was good.
it was really good. It was really good. But the impact, the powerful words, the 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 feelings we walked away with. The If anybody came in with their shoulders down, their shoulders were back by the end of the
Mm.
day.
Mm.
There was
Mm.
so much. There was transformation. There was restoration.
Mm.
So there was
Mm.
so much that happened in that room. There's
Wow.
Lena.
Yes. Oh my God. Oh wow.
There's so much that happened in that room.
Wow.
And I really want you to understand the impact that you have. And I need to say it to you, because I know what it feels like to just feel like you're just doing I'm just doing what God told me to do. I'm just doing what comes naturally to me. I'm just doing what I love. And we don't really see the impact. And we don't always hear the stories either.
True. Very true. Mm-hmm.
But
Very true.
I'm grateful for people like you who do the work, not just for everybody, but you do the work internally.
Mm-hmm.
There's been
Mm-hmm.
several times over the course of the almost 10 years that you have taken a step back, you
Mm-hmm.
have rebranded, you have relaunched,
Mm-hmm.
you have said, I was going in this direction, but that didn't feel, I felt like I needed to do this. And you have opened groups and closed groups.
Yeah, I have. I sure have.
When you swore not to ever have another group, and when you said, I think I'm gonna have another group on Wednesday night, I was like, no, she
I
didn't.
am. I am. I am. I
You
am.
know, but that just shows who you are, and it's a blessing to us, because it lets us know we don't have to be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
By you living a
Mm-hmm.
transparent, authentic life and living it for us to see, like you said, you don't have to tell us all the gory details,
Right.
because
Right.
those things are not important,
Right. Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And most of them get lost. They get lost in the shuffle anyway.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What really
Mm-hmm.
counts and what really helps us, especially in those small sacred spaces,
Mm-hmm.
is just
Mm-hmm.
your authenticity and your transparency
Mm-hmm.
and your obedience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'm grateful for it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm being obedient in 2025 in terms of creating some in-person sacred spaces. So I'm excited about doing that and inviting women into those spaces.
Mhm.
Now with an even greater understanding of what I'm creating for real,
Right.
you know,
Right.
and that's going to matter and it's going to make a big difference. It's going to make a big difference. So yeah.
Well, I'm excited. I'm excited for what's to come. I've enjoyed everything that we've done together. We've had several meet and greets that we've done together.
Yeah.
We've done them in Atlanta. We've done them here in Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
I think every event that I've ever had, you have so graciously come and graced my stage. You've always been. I can't think of any conference that I've had, whether virtual or in person, that you weren't there speaking.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I look forward to more of that, because I know that we are on the cusp of God's miracle.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know
Mm-hmm.
that things are
Mm-hmm.
shifting.
Mm.
Things are shifting. Last night I had a total mental breakdown. Total breakdown. Sobbing, crying, snotty nose, everything. And I always say, you really have to be around people who, like you said, sacred, safe space.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
People who are not going to see you break down and look down at you or
Right.
question you
Right.
or think, you know, well, she shines. She's always shining and joyful, but look at
Uh-huh.
her now.
Yes.
But
Yes.
people who can speak to the core
Mm-hmm.
and understand what is going on and pray you through, talk you through, smile you through, life, laugh you through, whatever it takes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because I'm telling you, last night I was like, how is this happening right now, the day before Cheryl is supposed to be here? God has done some amazing things this week with every single speaker that has been here. And I knew that something powerful was going to come out of your mouth this morning. I knew that the women needed to hear you, and I knew I needed to hear you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we have to understand that the enemy is going to keep coming for us. He's going to keep coming, and we have to learn to stand on God's promises
Mm-hmm.
and not be shifty
Mm-hmm.
and not get distracted,
Mm-hmm.
because there's work to do.
Yeah.
There's work to
Yeah.
do.
There is. There
Lisa
is.
said, when you said you did the work on rejection, where did you start?
Oh, I love that question. Where did I start? I started with forgiving my mother.
Mm, mm,
I started with forgiving my mother. And when I say mother, I mean my biological mother.
mm-hmm,
Because even though I didn't understand the idea of this mother wound, um, in those connections, I did understand that I felt a sense of rejection because she didn't raise me. And
mm-hmm,
I didn't even understand at that time. I didn't understand the whole dynamic of it.
mm-hmm,
Um, at that point, I'm trying to think. Did I? I'm trying to remember because my mom, she came to visit me, and it was the first time she and I had spent time to like really good quality time together.
mm-hmm,
And she stayed with me for 2 weeks. And I'm trying to remember if I started that process before then or after then. I can't totally remember, but
mm-hmm.
apparently it was probably in the same
Same,
window.
right.
Um, but it did. That's where it started. It started with forgiveness in terms of forgiving my mom, anything that I was holding against her for not raising me. That was a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
That was a big deal because I used to say that my mom gave me away. I
Mm,
would
I
say she
remember
gave me
that.
away,
Mm-hmm.
and once I started going through that forgiveness process, I then understood she didn't just give me away, she gave me an opportunity to live a
Mm-hmm.
better life. And that's a big difference.
That's a big
That's a big
difference.
difference.
That's a mindset shift, and that
Big
changes
time.
your perspective.
Yeah, big time shift
Mm-hmm.
because it allowed me to still honor her as the woman that brought me into the world,
Mm-hmm.
and also recognize she was a teenager in the
Mm-hmm.
60s
Mm-hmm.
having a baby,
Yeah.
right? Trying
Mm.
to do this thing on her own and realizing she couldn't,
She didn't have the capacity.
not at all. And
Mm-hmm.
then someone coming along and saying, these and this is the way she tells it, why don't you let me raise that baby? Why don't you let me raise that baby? And she was an older woman. My mom that raised me, she was an older woman, much older. And she was actually old enough to be my grandmother at the time. She probably was older than my grandmother, probably at the
Mhm.
time.
Wow.
And
Wow.
yeah, so she says, why don't you let me raise that baby? And she did. She and my mom didn't, she said she didn't accept in the moment. She said she took time to think about it and she thought, you know what? I'm gonna let you do that. And she did. And so part of that forgiveness journey for me was I think the beauty of that part of the forgiven of the journey was it wasn't just for me.
Mm.
It was for her too.
Wow. Yeah, of course.
Because me doing that work allowed she and I
Hmm.
to develop a relationship.
Hmm.
And eventually now that's my mom.
Yeah.
I mean, you know,
Oh, yeah.
that's my mom. I was just with her last week. I was just with her and because she moved to Florida from California because she wanted to be closer.
Hmm.
And that's my girl.
Yeah.
That's my girl. And I am now wise enough to recognize that she had a life too and that her life was not easy,
Right.
you
Right.
know?
I think
So,
Taryn put it perfect. Understanding our parents weren't perfect. They're
yes.
just trying to figure it out just
Yes.
like we are.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes. Absolutely. And that's why I have to remember, you know, my mom was 18 when she had me in the 60s, the early 60s at that. I was born in 1963.
Hmm.
So
Things would.
she is. She's 1962. You know, we're what this is civil rights era. You know,
Mhm.
she's pregnant. My father, they were both in high school. He goes off to eventually he goes off to the military and he never comes back.
Mm.
So she's left here with this her having this baby by herself in a foreign land because she was in New York City,
Wow.
which is where I was born.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So for dealing with excuse me, for dealing with rejection, that's where it started. It
Hmm.
started with dealing with um sorry, I just saw a pop up. Apparently there's a power outage in my neighborhood, but it's not affecting me.
We've been down this
Amen.
road
Glory
this.
to God.
Oh yeah, we've been down this road earlier this week,
Because I'm like, wait a minute, what power? Wait, no, I'm oh, okay, I'm good.
and we
Sorry.
gonna claim it's gonna stay that way.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh gosh. So yeah, so you know, starting with forgiveness and being very transparent with yourself.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's right. Talk kept me out of a power out. Yes, Lord, because we usually get hit with it too when it happens. On a different frequency. Yes, I like that. On a different frequency. Oh yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Um, but in terms of dealing with rejection and forgiveness and really first of all just acknowledging
Hmm.
you know that there is something that you may be feeling toward another person, especially if it's your mother, you know, just it kind of really saying, you know what, yeah, I do feel whatever I feel about this toward them, and then now it's like, all right, now I have to work through that,
Yeah.
and really that's a conversation with you and God, and journaling if journaling is
Hmm.
something that you do. Another thing to incorporate is gratitude. Gratitude has a powerful way of shifting your heart.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Gratitude will shift your heart in the moment. When I told that story about my husband and I being separated, one of the things I did was I focused on being grateful, and having gratitude. And I had a gratitude journal. It's the same. It's sitting right there And every morning I would write what I'm grateful for. And every night before I went to bed, that was the last thing I did, was
Wow.
wrote what I was grateful for while my husband was sleeping in the other room.
Mm, mm,
We were
mm.
sleeping in separate bedrooms, but I vowed that I would not lean into acting up.
Wow. Wait, that you will not. Lord, I promise I will not act up. I need to pray that prayer.
Yes. So I did. I did the gratitude in the morning, and even my husband, he said he's like, I ain't never been through a breakup like this before, because I was nice.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't being mean. I wasn't being, and I wasn't any of that.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, my husband and I, we got back together 15 months later. Just so I bring you full circle on that part of the
Yes.
story. We got back together 15 months later, and that was 8 years ago.
Mm.
So yeah. But yeah, that's where I would start. I would start with forgiveness, what that looks like, acknowledging that you may be harboring something, even if you don't think you are, just
Mm-hmm.
acknowledging that you could be and you're just
Mm-hmm.
not aware. And then, asking the Holy Spirit, asking God to just show you the way, um, how to handle people, how to handle yourself, and doing some gratitude work.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Lisa says, "Why didn't I know you a year ago?" And you know what? I think God gives us what we need right when we need it,
Yeah.
because I've often said, like Gordon and I have both said it. Like, why couldn't I have met you first? Why couldn't I have met you back then?
Right.
And I
Right.
think that God gives us what we need right when we need it, right when we are um able to and capable of
Hmm.
having the responsibility of that, and also um being able to receive what we need to receive.
Hmm. Hmm.
But I get what
Jamila.
she's saying, though. I get what she's saying.
Right, right. I see Jamila's question. She asked me if I was still a first lady. Uh, no,
She looks like one.
no, no. My first husband and I have been divorced for a very, very long time. We've been divorced for 20. Wait, what year is this? 24 years. We've been divorced for 24 years. And he was another person that I had to include in that forgiveness work. My first husband, we had to I had to include that because that's where I had to do a lot of work there.
Mm,
I had to do a lot of work there, and there was a lot on my part. On my part, there was a lot of animosity. There was a lot of bitterness. There was a lot of anger. There was a lot. That period of my life could write a book by itself.
mm,
I promise you, it could.
mm, mm,
And
mm.
I had to do an enormous amount of work because I'm being real transparent here. I hated my first husband when it
Wow.
was all said and done. I literally hated him. And you
Wow.
probably will never hear me say that about another human being. I
Right.
hated him with every fiber of my being. So I had a lot of work to do in that area. But let me tell you something. God is faithful.
Yes.
God is faithful. I went to see my daughters. I have two adult daughters, and I went to spend some time with them over the summer. And for the first time in probably almost 30 years, their father and I and them, we all went to breakfast together,
Wow.
just the four of us.
And knowing you, that took a lot. I'm so proud of you.
It was my suggestion.
Wow. Wow. That's when you know you have done the work and you have gone through the healing journey.
When God placed that on my heart, when He knew, when I was like, okay, yeah, I'm going to go with the girls, and God placed it on my heart, I was like, wait, what? So I said to my daughters, I said, what do you think about the four of us, me, you guys, and me and your dad going um, out to eat together? I wanted to make sure that it was going to be okay with them.
Right.
And they both were like, yeah, they were like, I'm down for it. I was like, oh, okay, all right. So I
Wow.
said, so then I was like, okay, well, who's going to invite the dad? And so my youngest daughter, she was like, oh, I'll do it. I'll do it. So she did. And so when we were at breakfast, their father, he said, so what did I do to, to get this honor? I was like, it's just been years. It's just been years, and we
Wow.
haven't done anything. And it was great. And now it's during the DNC, the four of us were in a text together talking about the DNC, which is stuff that we used to do.
Right.
Well,
Right.
with my oldest daughter, because she was always kind of like that when she was younger. So it was just, and there's no animosity, there's no
Mm.
like nothing, there's no feeling, no trying to get back to get, ain't none of that.
Right.
It's just us getting to the place now. We're both over 60, and getting to the place now where it's like, you know what, we're in a different place. We're in a different place. And I couldn't have gotten there without doing forgiveness work. I couldn't have gotten
Mm.
there at all without doing that work. So that work is valuable in so many different areas. And then you, like you said, Andrea, you've done the work when you're able to say, hey, you
Yes.
know, let's all go to breakfast.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, it is a blessing to the girls. Jamila, it is, it really is. When my oldest daughter, she got married 2 years ago, and so of course we're there. I'm remarried, he's remarried, he's been remarried for 20 something years, and so we're all there together, and he and I danced together, and apparently that was a big deal. Apparently that was a big deal, but it was a
Wow.
it was a lot of fun.
Wow.
It was a lot of fun, and I'm glad that it created the memory for my daughter for her wedding too. So yeah,
Oh.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Forgiveness is very, it's powerful, and people don't understand how
Hmm.
powerful it is, how important it is, as it relates to not the other person, not the other people,
Hmm.
but to you.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
So if you're in that type of situation, I want you to hear me. If you're in that type of situation, please open yourself up to walking through forgiving them regardless. I don't care who it is, and I don't care what it was for. Some years ago, I remember I did a teaching. Somebody invited me to teach on forgiveness, and I taught on it. And I promise you, the inboxes that I got from women about the things they had been harboring, especially women that have been sexually assaulted, molestation, things like that. I'm telling you, that stuff that will eat you. The incident, the situation itself is horrific. It's horrific. It's
Yes.
horrible.
Yes.
The physical aspect of it, the
Hmm.
spiritual aspect of it. And
Hmm.
then when you layer on what you harbor about it, there's no wonder that people do what they do and take their lives and do the different things, because it's unimaginable. And then you add this other piece to it, because you can't get out. It's a prison that you can't get out of.
Who that? Wait, right. That right there. It's a prison you can't get out of. I know that there are so many people, myself included, that we create these prisons. Sometimes we create them. Sometimes they're created for us. And
Mm-hmm.
and how do you get out, Cheryl?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody needs to hear that right now. I just feel it in my spirit. How do you? I could see women holding the bars, of that prison. I can see them just wanting to
Mm,
pull it apart, and they need to escape. We're the ones with the key.
yeah,
How do we
yeah,
unlock that prison
yeah,
and let
yeah.
ourselves out?
While you were talking and you were talking about us being in prison, I want you to get this image. I want you to get this image of what Andrea just said. Here you are in this prison in your mind, really. You're in this prison and you're standing there with your hands on the bars and the key in your pocket. You got your hands on the bars of the prison doors, but the key is in your pocket. So when you say, how do you get out? Well, you have the key.
Mm,
You have the key.
mm,
You have the ability. You have the power. Some people, when they get into a prison like that, they think they have no power.
mhm,
But you have the power. So I remember I told you I did the TED talk.
mhm.
My TED talk was done at a
Yep.
women's prison.
Yep. I remember.
It
I
was done
remember.
at a women's prison, the first women's prison in the state of Pennsylvania to host a TED talk. And in that TED, I talked about, because I think there were probably like 20, 25 of the residents, they called them residents, of the residents attending the talk. Everybody else was visitors and all of that. But in that talk, I talked about, even though you are physically confined,
Mm,
you have to find a way to become mentally free.
yeah. Yeah.
So if you feel like you are in some type of prison, mental prison, emotional, spiritual, because it's all connected,
Yes.
if you find yourself, you have the key in your pocket.
Mm, mm.
You can get out.
Out.
Start with forgiveness.
Yeah.
Start with forgiveness, because forgiveness is going to release you,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
physically fine, confined, but mentally free.
Great. Yeah. You know, if you ever,
It's going to start. It starts right there,
yeah,
right there.
if you ever listen to some to people's stories who have actually um, gone through prison and come out, and they're on the other side of it, so to speak, mindset wise, that's exactly what they say. I've heard it several times that they had to find a way within those within the that
Mm-hmm.
9 by 6
The
whatever space,
confinement of the space.
yeah, to free themselves in their mind.
Yeah, yeah,
So that's really powerful what you just said.
yeah. So you have to find freedom in your mind
Mhm.
first. You got to find it in your mind first. You got to
Yeah.
find it in your mind. You got to be like, you know what? I feel like the walls are closing in, but that's only a feeling. It's not a fact. The
Yeah.
walls are not closing in, right? So you have to dispel some of the stuff that's going on in your head, and you got to really start and go, okay, you know what? I recognize and acknowledge how I'm feeling and what's going on, but let's explore the truth,
Hmm.
and then explore some truths
Hmm.
that counter those feelings.
Hmm.
Because the truth is, like I said, you feel like the walls are closing in, but the truth is they're not. The walls aren't closing in, but
Right.
you have the ability to expand your thinking and to think about things in a totally different way. You have the ability to forgive those that have totally done you wrong, because that forgiveness is an act of self-freedom. So you have the key, and the key is right in your pocket, making yourself available to situations like this, making yourself available to go into places and spaces that do feel sacred, that you can share, and that you can talk about what's going on with you, in your head or in your heart. We are a lot of us are walking time bombs. We are
Oh my
walking
gosh,
time
yes.
bombs, and as soon as somebody says something or does something, we react a certain way or we ready to explode. Honey, that is years and years and years of just pushing down, pushing down, pushing down,
Mhm.
pushing down. And you wonder why you have high blood pressure. You wonder why you got inflammation. You wonder why you got type 2 diabetes. You wonder why you have all of these different physical ailments. It's because spiritually, it's a lot of junk going on.
Mm. Don't stop.
She said, don't stop.
That's deep.
Yeah.
That's deep.
Now, I'm not saying that you avoid. I'm not saying that you don't go and do what and you don't have a responsibility to handle the physical aspects, the physical manifestation of what's going on in your body, but don't ignore the spiritual part of it.
Mm.
Don't ignore the harboring of unforgiveness. Don't ignore the fact that, there's a certain person that probably walks in the room or you walk into the room and your whole body goes bananas because you're having a physiological reaction to a person that did something to you.
Wow.
So if you're tired of that happening, start with doing some forgiveness work.
Wow.
Start with I saw somebody wrote, start with exposing some truths.
Mm-hmm.
And, and trust me, this is not something that happens lickety split. It took a very long time for me to be able to see my first husband's name come across my cell phone without me feeling like I'm about to hyperventilate.
Wow.
I'm not exaggerating either. My heart would start racing and pounding because I had such animosity toward him that's how it would feel. It would be like, what does he want? And usually it was only about our daughters because that's usually all we ever talked about at
Right.
that point. But just the physical reaction to it,
Mm.
it said a lot. It said a lot.
Wow. Tara says studies she did connected cancer and heart disease to stress and worry,
Mm.
which are connected
Mm-hmm.
to spiritual disease, which
Mm-hmm.
then leads to physical and physiological
Yep.
disease.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. Yep.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. So the conversation that we've been having and how it landed here, in terms of dealing with unforgiveness, harboring unforgiveness, you'll never reach the place that God wants you to be in service to others and those you've been called to with tremendous impact
Mm.
if you have not cleared yourself
Mm.
of carrying unforgiveness, of harboring things against people,
Mm.
of feeling bitterness and anger toward other people, rejection. All of those things are all cancers in the body.
Mhm. Mhm.
They are. They are. And for you to be able to really, really, really serve to the level and the capacity that you've been called to, you got to deal with that stuff.
Mhm.
Ain't no fake it till you make it. No such thing. I don't care what anybody
Nope.
says. There's no such thing.
Nope.
There is no such thing. It's not, you not, there ain't no fake it till you make it. Because faking it till you make it only serves you. It doesn't
Mhm.
serve the people.
Right.
It
Right.
don't serve the people.
Wow. Wow. Tara says, I think I just unlocked a download about what my next live assignment is.
Yay! I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
And this is why I love these conversations because, you know, these conversations are inspiring. and they're
Mm-hmm.
encouraging.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said before, it makes you feel like I'm not alone. And
Mm-hmm.
it also makes you say, wow, okay, I can do that too.
Yeah.
Or this is what I'm going to do now because now I have the
Yes.
clarity.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't never heard it this way before.
Yeah.
And so I think now I can, I've got the confidence. I feel like I can walk it out.
Well, yeah, because sometimes you've you've heard people say it, but maybe you weren't ready to receive it,
Receive it. Yep.
or maybe the way they said it, it didn't resonate.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So then someone else comes along and says it. That happens a lot, in marriages and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I've said to my husband many times, he'll say, something, and I'll lay it out and say X, Y, and Z, and then we'll keep talking, and then he'll repeat it back to me like it was like some moment he had I just said that, dude. What are you talking about?
And sometimes also, like I said earlier, you're just not in that place.
Right.
You're not in
Sometimes
that place
you're
to
not in the
receive
place
it.
to receive,
You
and
know?
it doesn't resonate.
Right.
You know.
Then you go through
So
something and it's like, and then you hear it and you're like, oh shoot, well, that's what Zach was talking about.
yeah, 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 exactly. So you're finally in a place where you're like, oh, okay, okay, I hear. Like I'm telling you, all this work that I had done on myself, I had never heard this, you know, mother wound,
Mm-hmm.
thing. I hadn't heard it. And then, but when I heard it, I understood it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, oh, it's a thing. Oh, okay. All
Yeah.
right. I got you.
Wow.
It's a thing. Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. In my own life, it's a thing. Okay. Not just once, but twice.
Wow. 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 Desiree said, oh, the power in this morning. Two dynamos serving love and truth. I receive.
Mm-hmm.
Goes on to say, just revealed a new facet in the brilliance of my diamond and shine. I am
Oh,
doing
I
a
love
happy
it,
dance.
Desiree. I love
Wow.
that. That's
Wow. Wow.
beautiful.
Well, I could sit here and talk to you all day and do this with you all day. And I love when we get together
Yeah.
like this. And it's always to serve the people.
Yes.
And I really appreciate that about you.
Yeah.
One of the things that, so many things that um, you've done and so many things that you've been the example for, I've sort of followed in your footsteps and did it and made it my own. And we talked about the conferences, we talked about the meet and greets, and just all the different things that you've inspired me to do, and also just kind of been the wind beneath my wings, and
Oh.
and encourage me, reminding me constantly
Mm-hmm.
of who I am,
Yes. Yes.
reminding me constantly of who I am.
Yes.
You know, back on January 20th of this year, I wrote it down. Like I was trying to figure out what are my strengths? What are my
Yeah.
strengths? And these are things that you told me, and and
Wow.
and they resonated with me, and I identified with them.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to have people in our lives
Mm-hmm.
that are going to see the goodness of God in us, are going to see
Mm-hmm.
our strengths, going to see our purpose,
Yeah.
and continue and be confident within themselves
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
to
Mm-hmm.
remind you of who you are and not allow you to forget it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
wrote it in my journal, um, because I wanted, on those days when I'm just like not feeling it, when I'm questioning myself, when I'm questioning my mere existence, when I'm questioning what am I doing? Is what I'm doing working? Am I reaching people? I can pull this out
Yes.
and
Because that's
remind
what it's
myself
for.
of
That's
who I
what it's
am.
for.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
That's what it's for. It's to remember.
Remember. Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
to remember, and writing it out, and having it accessible. Sometimes I tell people to put it on their phones or whatever, because sometimes in that moment you're like, oh, you are doubting yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You are thinking like you're having about to have a meltdown. I've had some of those midnight meltdowns, so I get it.
Yeah.
when you pull it out and you're like, remember, I remember,
Yep.
no, no,
Yep.
these are, this is who you are.
Yep. Yep.
Remember who you are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, Jan, remember who you are.
Hmm.
Absolutely. You
Yeah.
got to remember. You got to remember. But in terms of remembering, you got to first know who you are.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got to do the work of knowing who you are,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
not the knowing of what other people have instilled in terms of who they think you're supposed to
To
be,
be.
but you knowing who you are. Now, that's another conversation, because I get into the conversation about identity and knowing who you are for real,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So I just wanted to mention, like, this project that you did, unlock the icon within.
Yes.
And this was an
Yes.
anthology
Yes.
where you created this project
Mm-hmm.
for all of these women. That's
Mm-hmm.
me right there.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And you allowed us to write our stories.
Yes. Yes.
And um, we are almost at the end of our um, our project, where the Shine Crew, some of the Shine Crew who chose to do it, we're almost at the end of everyone finishing their stories. And there's that I feel some hesitation, and there's a little bit of dragging of the feet, but I know that there's a root where that comes from. And so, before we go, I would love you to just speak into the lives of those that um, maybe don't feel like their story is good enough, are holding back, um, and really not walking confidently in their purpose.
So I'm just going to take this back to what some of you have said in the comments about what Andrea and I have done today. We're showing up serving the people. And you have to see your story as a way to serve the people, as a way to say, you know what? Yeah, it's going to be tough for me to write this story. It's going to be tough for me to share my experience, but it's going to touch somebody's life. It's going to give somebody else hope. It's going to give somebody a it's going to let somebody else know that they're not the only one. They're not the only one having that experience. They're not the only one going through it. And listen, putting your story in a book, you never know whose life you will touch. You may never see them. You probably won't ever see them or hear from them. But knowing that because you've participated and you've put this story in the book, it's a part of your legacy being left. It's a part of your legacy being left. That when you are gone, when you have moved on and gone on, somebody somewhere will read that. We're still talking about and reading books that was written in the early 1900s. Think and Go Rich and all them people, they wrote those books back in like 1932 or something, like 1910, all that kind of thing. You never know. So stop dragging your feet, honor your commitment.
Mm.
Because if you said that you're going to participate in the project, then that's your word. So honor your commitment. If you are missing due dates, repent. Repent, acknowledge, apologize,
Cheryl and I have not talked about this. Let me just tell y'all, we have not talked about
No,
this.
I didn't even know that this was going on. You know, apologize, acknowledge, and turn your chapter in. I've done a number of these book projects, so I understand what goes on. I understand what goes on with the apprehension with the women that are writing, because usually what they're writing is something that they've been holding on to deep, deep inside for a very long time. But this is your opportunity to release it. You might have to walk through some forgiveness in order to do it.
Hmm. You
There
might
might be
you might
something
get your
really,
breakthrough.
yes, because it's not right, because it's not just for the people that are going to read, but
Mhm.
this process is most definitely for you. And then the beauty, the amazingness of being a published author when it's done. Now you have you're published as a writer, yes, as in an anthology with other people, but you're still a published writer. You'll have a book, you'll be part of a book, right?
Mhm.
So there's the beauty of that as well, you
Mhm.
know. So deal with whatever you need to deal with within yourself, honor your commitment. Yeah, the writing it is like forgiveness for you, you know, because I know some of it is having to remember, having to relive things that you might find difficult, but it's an opportunity for you to uproot it as well.
Wow.
So yeah.
Wow. Whew. Farrah said, my pen hasn't left my paper. Notes, notes, notes. So good.
You're awesome, Farrah. You're all are awesome. I love how engaging you guys are. I love how you show up and you participate, and how you're a part of the experience.
Mhm.
You're not just attending, but you're participating, and there's a difference. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
Lena Wilson. Lena, Andrea put up a picture of you and her together.
And we was looking cute, Lena. We was looking cute. Wow.
So yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know, Lena, if you're still watching. I don't know if you remember that I met you and Andrea on the
Mhm.
same day in person, the same day.
I
So,
think I was sitting behind Lena.
oh, okay,
I think I was
okay,
I think I was sitting
okay.
behind her. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
awesome,
That
awesome.
that was an awesome day. It really was.
Yeah, yeah. Almost 10 years ago.
Yep. And to think almost 10 years ago, and I still have the cards that you made us create, and they're on my computer with messages to me that I need to hear.
Awesome,
Yeah.
awesome, awesome. Wonderful.
Yeah. So, in regard to the anthology, Lisa says, I just never thought it was looked at as someone being selfish or prideful. And I don't think anybody's looking at it as being selfish or prideful. I think that we're all trying to figure out why we're not doing it. And
Hmm.
I think those are some of the things rolling around in our heads.
Hmm.
But what do you think about that, Cheryl?
Um, whether or not is it someone's being selfish or prideful. Again, when I look at things, I always look past the symptoms and I start looking at the root.
Right.
So while we're saying selfish, prideful, and we're using that type of terminology, what's at the root of it though?
Mhm.
Because it could be presenting itself as selfish, maybe, I don't know. It could be presenting itself as being prideful. I don't know that either. But what is that attached to?
Fair.
Yeah, at Tara, I was just going to say that out of my mouth. Fear.
Yeah.
They're afraid.
Hmm.
So it presents like a bunch of different things, but at the root of it, it's fear. And then, Andrea, you know me, and I go a level deeper. Fear of what?
Hmm.
Fear of what?
Yeah.
What are you afraid of? Right. Fear, rejection, shame.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. So you always got to get to the low. But I see you're saying fear is the root, but there that fear is attached to something
Something
deeper
else.
than that.
Yep. Yep.
Because that fear, that level of fear was introduced by something that is at the root.
Mm-hmm.
Fear of what do you I always ask my clients, because they like to say, it's fear, or it's what's standing in your way. And it's like, well, I'm standing in my way. Okay, that's nice, but those are surface. That's surface to me.
Right.
That's surface.
Mm-hmm.
What's down in the ground that can't nobody see, that
Mm-hmm.
you are not haven't paid attention to, that's rolling around down there? What is down there that you really gotta, I call it, excavate,
Yes.
because it's so deep in
Deep.
there
Mm-hmm.
that you that you don't, all is, it's just me standing in the way. No, but what does that mean?
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean? Where is that coming from? So when I talk about rejection, it's not just reject. No, that rejection comes from a real place.
Yeah.
It comes from a real place.
Mm-hmm.
Jan said the garden pick won't work. No, it won't.
Mm-mm.
It won't. You have to get down in there, and you have to really do the work. And a lot of people are afraid. They're afraid to do that work because they're afraid about what they're going to discover.
Yeah.
They're afraid about what they're going to have to remember in
Mm-hmm.
order to get in there and really do the work
Mm-hmm.
of discovering why are you afraid? What are you what fear? What's the fear about?
Mm-hmm.
The shame. What's the shame about?
Mm.
What's the shame about? I listen, I walked around with shame for years. And it took one of my coaches to say it was shame. And it was shame around me being divorced.
Wow. Wow.
It was shame around me. Yes, Jan asked, would you suggest therapy? Absolutely, I would. Absolutely, I would.
Yeah.
Because you
I
need
feel like
somebody that's very skilled
right.
in knowing how to ask the right questions.
Mm-hmm.
Coaching can only take you but so far. Coaching is not therapy. It can only take you so far. Okay. So you need a therapist that can ask the right questions. That can listen. The first time I went to therapy, I hated it because she was asking me too many questions, and I was crying the entire time.
Yes. Yes.
I was like, "What is this?" I came here to talk about my stuff, my problems. I did not come here to be crying like this.
Mm-hmm.
And you asking me all these questions, and you not telling me nothing.
You're just writing stuff down. That's not helping me.
You asking, writing, I'm telling, and crying. What? Tell me something. So yes, 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 yes.
Wow.
Therapy, absolutely, 100%. Because some things are so deep in there that you do need someone that's skilled in order to be able to help you see your way and navigate your way out,
Yep. Yeah.
and navigate your way out.
Yeah.
But if you're part of the anthology project, please honor your commitment, write your chapter, submit it, and release the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to bless somebody's life. You may not never ever know
Mm-hmm.
who,
Mm-hmm.
know where. Books have the ability to reach places that your feet may never go.
Mm-hmm.
And you being in a book with multiple people,
Mm-hmm.
God only knows where that book can go.
Right.
He only knows where that book can go. And honored and excited that where that book goes, you go.
Yes. Yes. Wow. Wow. Wow.
Well, we've had our own form of a master class, I guess, huh?
Okay. This is what happens when we get together.
Absolutely, 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 absolutely.
You know, uh these morning Shine with Andrea shows, whatever you want to call it. I try to keep them to
Is
30
it a
minutes.
show? Is it a show?
I
Is it
don't
a
know.
show?
I don't know. What is
What
it?
do you want to call it? No, because you're not gonna just drive by that whatever you want to call it. No, what do you want to call it?
I think I'm scared to say talk show because
Yeah,
that's what I really
I know.
want.
That's why I'm calling you on it. Because if that's because I heard you say you want to do a talk show and you on a live stream every Monday through Friday talking. So why not? It's a talk show because you talking on a show that's streaming live. Like what?
Okay. All right, y'all. Y'all about to see it in action right now. Look, y'all, she is on me. Look. Call it what it is. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. No, I know because in your mind you think because it's not streaming on or it's not showing up on a network in a TV studio that it's not a show. It's a show because you showing us every day, Monday through Friday on live stream. So no, I wasn't gonna let you just go, oh whatever. No, we're not doing that. Call a thing a thing. If that's what it is, then call it that. Because once you call it that and you believe in the vision, your shine crew, you know what's going to happen. They're going to take it and they're going to run with it because that's what the vision is for. So if the vision is a talk show, whatever kind of show you want to call it, then call it that. Yes, Jan, believe that it is. And don't shrink back. Don't be afraid to call it. Don't think about what other people going to think, who she thinks she is, calling it a show. It's a show.
I think that's the main thing for me is that, you know, to me, for the reasons that you stated, it's not a show. It's not a show yet. And I'm not ready yet. And
Mm-hmm.
so because I see it that way, I feel like, well, who am I to say that it is?
Who
And
else going to say it if you don't say it?
what are other people going to say? Oh, who does she think she is?
So let me say this to you. You remember Issa Rae, right?
Mm-hmm.
How did Issa Rae start? Do you know?
I don't remember.
Does anybody in the comments know how Issa Rae started? Anybody know? I want to see if anybody is tracking. Does anybody? I know it's a little bit of lag, so I can give you a little bit of time. Does
That's okay.
anybody know how did Issa Rae get started? I'm gonna tell you how she got started. Yes, Shatara said YouTube. Issa Rae started on YouTube with a show called Awkward Girl. Awkward Girl. It was on YouTube. And the show on YouTube was called Awkward Girl. What's she doing now? She had the Insecure, the HBO deal. She done movies. She's doing all the things. She doing whatever, whatever. My point is, she started on YouTube doing a show called Awkward Girl. It was like they called it a web
Web
series, I
series.
think. Yeah.
Web series.
Yes.
Followed by her hit HBO series, Insecure.
Boom. Boom.
I'm not
So
looking
when
down.
I'm
I'm
saying
taking
what I'm
notes.
saying, I always got receipts about what I'm saying in terms of how I know it works.
Always, always.
Okay.
I'm not taking. I'm not looking down, Tara. I'm taking notes.
Okay. So we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. We're gonna call it what it is. And if it's a show, then you're gonna call it that. Okay. Was it Shine with
Shine,
what's it what's
shine
it
with
called?
Andrea.
Shine with Andrea? The
Hmm.
Shine with Andrea show? That's what it's called from today forward. The Shine with Andrea show.
I have the my kind of like, no, no, she's gonna get on me for saying kind of like, my tagline. I don't know if you can see it at the top there. Shine with Andrea, real talk, real life, live devotions.
I love it. I love it.
But I don't know what my uncomfortableness is with saying the Shine with Andrea show.
You already said what it is. You already said it's what other people are going to think, and then
Yeah.
it's really because it's not, it's not a studio television studio show, it's not. No, it's what you call it. It's whatever you call, because here's the thing, you're looking at the now.
Mm.
You're looking at where it is now. But what you want to be looking at is you're casting the vision for the future.
Mm.
So while it's live streaming on Facebook and YouTube and all of that now, who knows if somebody will come to you and say, you know what, we want to pick this up as a show on our network. So if that's the vision, then you walk in that vision. You're casting that vision for. And I think I saw somebody post. You even got your own intro song? Like, what are you talking about? Do you know when Oprah, when she started her show, do you know she sung her own opening song? A lot of people probably don't even remember that. She sung her own opening song.
Wow. Wow.
She ain't paying nobody else to do. She sung her own opening song. You got an opening song for real, and you gonna sit up here and be like, I don't know if I want to call it a show, girl. Bye.
Ah, yeah, Tara came through on that song. It was like late last night.
Wait, and she just did it last night.
And and then redid it this morning and sent it to me, and at like 9:58.
Who did the song? Who did the song?
Tara.
Tara Freeman.
Uh-huh.
Tara Freeman. I'm gonna need to see you soon, but okay. Tara said she didn't know you played it.
Yeah, I played it. Look, look, here it is. Can you hear it? Wait, hold on.
Uh-uh.
Hold on. I think that might be the end. Now, I don't know how to.
Was it somebody singing?
Black giggle.
Yeah, it is. But I don't know how to start it from the beginning. Okay, let me start it again.
Somebody said you have to show the video that ran with it. They
Oh,
want the whole experience.
Miracles and blessings. Miracles and blessings. Miracles and blessings. Yeah, yeah. Miracles and blessings. Say what? Say what? Say what? Say what? Miracles and blessings. Rain down. Miracles and blessings. Rain down.
Say what? Say what? Say what? Say what? I got you the marks.
Shine down, miracles and blessings. Shine down.
and I love how she just said Shine Crew.
Yes.
Shine Crew.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. That's what, girl, you got your own song. You got your, girl, you better go on and get on.
Tara
Show.
Tara did that. And when I
Yes,
tell
she
you,
did.
like,
Let's give Tara a hand. Let's
yes,
give Tara a
yes,
hand.
yes. Oh my God. So we'll not perfect it, but we'll fix it, not fix it. Nothing's wrong with it. We'll just get it together.
You refine it.
Refine it. That's the
Refine
word.
it.
I like that. All right. I like that. We'll refine it. But yeah, she did that. She did that. And she did, like I said, she sent it to me at she sent it to me a little bit earlier,
Mm-hmm.
but I asked her to just change something, and she did what she did, and it was like 9:58. You were already in the studio, and the reason why I didn't say hello to you is because I was trying to upload it, and it was
Oh, got you.
it was
Got you.
a whole different
Got you.
format, and I didn't know exactly how to pull it up on StreamYard because I never did that before.
Okay.
So it was the
Okay.
whole
Okay.
thing. But
Okay.
it's the bomb, and I love it.
Yes. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. So before we go, I would like to know where everybody's watching from in terms of like like city, state, whatever. I'd love to know where everybody's watching from.
Drop your city and your state, Shine Crew. Drop your city and your state.
Shine Crew.
And to think that the Shine Crew, Cheryl, was birthed out of the comment section of my life.
I love it. Dallas, Lisa Dallas.
Oh, I didn't see
Lakeland. Oh, you live in Lake. My mom lives in Lakeland, Jan.
Mm-hmm.
Salisbury, Maryland. I used to live in Maryland. Valencia, California. Believe it or not, I used to live in California. I lived in Fremont, Chicago, Sanford in the house, Rochester, Michigan, Mulberry,
Yes.
Florida, Oberlin, Louisiana, middle of nowhere. Pearl City, Hawaii. Oh, I
What?
love it. Hawaii's in the house.
How did you find us? Welcome,
New York
welcome.
City, Queens. Nice, nice, nice. I think my brother lives in Queens. He used to live in Brooklyn. I think he lives in Queens now.
He lives in Brooklyn, not the Brooklyn.
Huh?
It's an inside joke for somebody that's on here, and I won't call them out.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Well, he don't live in neither one of them now. Oh, Vanessa is watching from Georgia. Miss Cheryl, you have knocked my son. Oh, God bless you. Bless you so much, Vanessa. Bless you, bless you, bless you. You know, Atlanta, not sure where you are in Georgia, Vanessa, but Atlanta is always one of my top 3 cities in terms of my social media metrics. Colorado. Wow, Colorado. I have not officially been to Colorado. I do want to go. North Carolina, an hour from Raleigh. Houston, Texas. Houston in the house. Nice, nice, nice. I love it. Brooklyn, New York City is always in the house.
Oh, yes, Janae.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you guys for indulging me on that. I just wanted to see where people were watching from. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
So tell us about this and why should we go to ibelieve.womenwhocoach.com?
So this is a when you go here, you're going to see something, and it's a 7-day self belief challenge. And it's a challenge that will come directly to your inbox. You don't have to be anywhere. You don't have to show up anywhere. You'll meet me in your inbox, and you'll get to do this journey. And I did it last week. I actually did it with the people on my who are currently on my email list, and then I decided that I would use it um, ongoing and just invite people to do the challenge. And excuse me. So when you go to ibelieve.womenwhocoach.com, you're going to see the opt in. It's free, and you can opt in, and then you will start to receive an email once a day for 7 days from me. And it's going to have just a little bit of blur, but it's going to have some things for you to do, to start to build that self belief muscle, because your belief in yourself sits at the core of building your personal brand. And I want you to build that muscle. I want you to build that self belief muscle so that when it's time for you to have a show, you'll say it's a show. So all I ask for is your name and your email, and then so the emails will start. So if you do it right now, the emails will kick in. The emails will kick in tomorrow, because I'm finishing setting up the emails, moving them from doing it with the community to my email community, to making sure now it's happening automatically. So you will get what you signed up for, and I can't wait to meet you in your email inbox. And you'll also, Andrea said it, you'll also uh, receive an invite to join my new Facebook community. See, I couldn't even get it out. Facebook.
What is it? What is it? Wait, hold on. You better call it what it is. It's a Facebook community. You better believe in the vision. Don't shrink back, Cheryl Pullins. Wait.
Oh
Gosh.
gosh.
How did Easter egg get
I
started? Do you know how Easter
knew
egg
that
got
was
started?
going to happen once I did that. I knew it. I knew it. I knew as soon as I tripped up saying it, I knew you were going to do that. So, yes, you will be invited to our brand new Facebook community. And I think I've settled on a name. I'm not sure. I need to run it. I need to run it past my agent, Andrea. Make sure I'm on brand. Right, Tara. She couldn't wait. She couldn't wait to fire back at me. You are absolutely right.
Tara, you would have done the same thing to me, so don't even start.
I promise you, she gets me too. She gets me. She gets me. She gets me. She gets me too. But that's what
I'll be over here clutching my pearls.
Oh my gosh, you guys are hilarious. It has been amazing. Andrea keeps her. Yes, she does. Yes, she does. Locked and loaded. She does. Yup. She don't play.
Oh god.
That's why I deal with her the way I deal with her, because she don't play. So I can't play with her because she don't play.
You know, before we go, I just have to say this. The other day, you posted something on your Cheryl A. Pullins business page, and you posted about a man that inspired you, and then you said that you were always also inspired to show up by Shine with Andrea. I when I read that, Cheryl, it immediately brought me to tears. And I told Gordon, I was like, Cheryl said I inspired her to show up.
Yeah.
I'm like, Cheryl inspired me to show up. What is she talking about? I'm like, Cheryl said I inspired her.
Mhm.
And I showed it to him. I was like, look, she wrote Shine with Andrea.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Because you have inspired me. You have inspired me. You know. You. Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, and I also I want you to know that you're seen, that I see you. You know, I want you to know that even if I'm not getting on, I see you, and I want to acknowledge that I see you, that I'm proud of you, and how you're showing up. And now you got your shine crew, and from here on, from here on, you know, I mean, we know this had already started 5 years ago or longer. Was it longer? We know that already when you were doing the conferences. We already know that, you know, and I love how you've transitioned it. I love how you've transitioned it because now you can take this and you can roll with it.
Well, you've been telling me for a long time that I needed to transition it.
Uh huh. Mm-hmm.
But I mean, you've been telling me a long time.
Yeah.
Rashawn, it's funny because Rashonda started out the week saying the same exact thing on Monday.
Mm-hmm. And here we are.
Mm-hmm.
Here we are. And that was then, and we're here now, and God only knows what the future is gonna hold for you and for your show and for your Shine crew. You know, and here's the thing, yes, Shine with Andrew Talk Show. I let you know what I just thought of. I thought of Tamron Hall because Tamron Hall has what? Tamron Hall has the Tam Fam.
Mm.
She has the Tam Fam. You got your Shine crew.
Wow. 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 I never thought of it that way. You know, I remember, and I posted this a couple of months ago. When I was 16 years old, I used to watch the Oprah Winfrey Show with my mom.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved Oprah Winfrey. I was so just blown away by her show up, by the way that she just did what she did so gracefully.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And like I said, representation is everything, right? Um, and because it didn't happen for me the way that I would have wanted it to happen, because it didn't happen when I would have wanted it to happen, um, we kind of lose faith, right?
Yeah.
Along the way,
Yeah.
you know, like,
Yeah.
is it ever going to happen?
Yeah. We get
Um,
weary.
yep. And what really sparked something again for me is watching Sherry. That kind of sparked something.
Yeah.
Seeing her walk into her greatness,
Yeah.
and then when she had Oprah on her show,
Mm-hmm.
and what transpired on
Yeah.
that show.
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
mean, I used to dress like Oprah. I had I was 16 years old in high school, wearing, suits to school, and dresses, and what do you call them? Camis,
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And cardigans, and doing my hair like Oprah at 16, because that's what I wanted. And then to see it just come full circle for Sherry and what transpired on that show,
Yeah.
it allowed me to dream again. That's
I
what it
think
did,
that was the
Cheryl.
first time I ever actually saw her on a daytime talk show and where she actually basically passed the mantle.
Yes.
Now, the interesting part to me, part of that was Oprah hasn't had a talk show, the Oprah Winfrey talk show, in over a decade.
Mm-hmm.
And there have been a lot of people that have started talk shows,
Yes.
but she chose to pass the mantle to Sherry. I
Yeah.
found that to be very, 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 very interesting,
Yes.
you
Yes.
know? So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
So it's your turn. Run with it. Do it. Have fun with it. Bring people on, introduce your shine crew, to people,
Mhm.
and just have fun. Just have
Mhm.
fun with it.
My dream is to see other women doing exactly what I'm doing and then taking it even further.
Because that's usually what happens.
Yeah.
That's usually what happens. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I
And
want to see women showing up and shining,
hmm
waking up to their calling.
yeah, I mean, it's a great pick me up, for in the morning, shine
Mhm.
with Andrea, showing women how to shine, talking about shining, teaching them how to shine their light, all of that. I mean, it's just a great message. Great message.
Hmm.
Yeah. So run with it.
Wow. Wow. I remember when you started your podcast or you started teaching how to do the podcast.
Hmm.
I remember when you started doing that and I was like, no, I can't do that. I was like, there's no way. There's no way. That's too complicated. Cheryl is very techie and she understands all of that stuff. And I was like, I can't do all of that. I can't do all of that. And I remember the first time I saw you with a mic. And I was like, Gordon, I need a mic. He was like, what do you need a mic for? I was like, I don't know, but I need one. Cheryl has one, so I need one. And he was like, are you going to do a podcast? I'm like, no, I'm not doing a podcast, but I need a mic. And I
That
remember
is
him
really
looking at
funny.
me like, you're not going to do a podcast, but you just want a mic because Cheryl has a mic? Yep. Don't ask me no
That's
questions. And he
that's
actually got
funny.
me a mic. He got me a Yeti.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, yeah. Uh-huh.
I haven't
Yeah.
used it for Shine with Andrea yet.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's a part of I think that's a part of my fare. So I need to work that out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But there's so many women that are a part of the Shine crew that I see like the future. Like I see the future them. I see their purpose. I see, you know, what's in them and what God wants to pull out of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm actually working with um I'm actually working with someone to help me to build, because that's the building part is what always stops me from moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm working with somebody to help me build something that I can help equip them. So I've
Mm-hmm.
been doing this for months now,
Mm-hmm.
because I want to equip them. I want to do more than
Mm-hmm.
just show up in the mornings.
Sure. Sure.
And I
Absolutely.
want to give them all of the tools, the resources.
Mm-hmm.
I want to,
Mm-hmm.
share my experiences, you know, all of that,
Yeah.
because
It will come.
I
It will come. I mean, you're an Oprah fan, so I mean, you've seen that play out with her as well. You know, she didn't just do a television show.
who did you say?
Oprah.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, she didn't just do a television show. She eventually went from doing just a television show to um yeah, Shine Academy.
Do you remember Unleash Your Brilliance University?
I do remember Unleash Your Brilliance. And this
Is
is the iteration of that. And this is what I mean when I talk about journey.
I think you need to go. I think you
Because
need.
there's
I got you. I think you need to go. What'd you say, Zach? I think somebody calling you.
Zach ain't even here. He at work. Don't even try. Listen, child, we done got you a show, an academy. What else you need? What else? Oh, we talked about a book. What else? What else you need? You need what else you need to continue to build out this brand? Okay. Oh, yeah, you got a theme song. Listen, girl, we're gonna make it all happen right here for you. Now all we need is a conference. But anyway,
You know what? You are a troublemaker, and the Shine Crew they are not helping right now. Y'all supposed to have my back.
yep. Now we just need a conference, and I think we'd be set.
Well, you're due one too, so how about we just do one together? What's the date?
Yeah, I like that. I love it. I love it. I love it. We'll come up with a date. 2025 for sure. Yes, we will do it.
What were you gonna say now?
I don't even know now. You
Good.
don't talk me. You don't talk me into doing a conference. Now I'm gonna stop talking. Oh gosh. Oh God. Wonderful, 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 wonderful. 2025 loading. Yes, Jamila. 2025 loading for sure. For sure. Awesome.
All right, Cheryl. I ain't never kicked nobody off my show ever, but there's always a first.
And I'm honored.
Yes, yes. I'm kicking you off the show.
And
Okay.
I'm honored. I'm honored.
Oh my gosh. All right, Shine Crew. We need to get on this. Everybody, I hope y'all shined up for I believe womenwhocoach.com. I hope
Yes,
y'all
yes,
shined up,
yes,
and we need to do
yes.
this and do it together. Miss Laverne says, see what happens when we obey? It's only God.
Absolutely. 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 For sure. Because you don't walked away with you now you got a show. You start off with you got a theme song. Now you got Shine Academy. Now we about to collaborate and do a conference.
Whew. I'm like, what we gonna call it?
Y'all, she gonna be all in my text messages now.
You already know. You already know. Listen, the graphic is already made, okay?
Yes, all in my text messages now. So yeah, I know when I get off of here, the first thing I need to do is come up with some dates. I already know because she's gonna be on it. She's gonna be on it. And I want her to be able to announce it to the Shine Crew really soon. Catch it while it's hot. Catch it while it's hot.
Yes. Woo, yes. And it's going to be all of and my vision, what I see, Cheryl, and I know when I say this, you're going to be on the same page. Believing means we got to put our feet to faith. That's what my cousin John Mark said yesterday. We got to put our feet to faith.
Yes.
And I want exactly what happened today. That's what I want the conference to be about for each woman that shows up.
Absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
it's a ripple effect.
Yes.
It's what we call the shine effect.
You better. You better. I love it. I love it.
And I think it would be a great place to showcase the authors of the Shine Effect anthology.
Told y'all. We ain't even off the show yet. I love it. I absolutely love it. 100%. I totally love it. Totally love it.
Yes.
I am here for it. I am here for it.
Woo!
We've been
Yes,
on
I
here
know.
2.5 hours. Talk about the shine effects. Yes, yes. We just had a mini conference, I guess, huh?
Well, yes, we did. We did. Look, Jan said, didn't you just say you were ending?
Uh-huh. And she was supposed to be kicking me off and everything.
Woo! It was spoken in the spirit, and now it has to be manifested in the
It
now.
is here. It is here. And you know what? I love, God, you are a trip for real. Because what I love about this is, remember, you said you wanted to see more of that, Cheryl. You wanted to see, and I believe that this is the opportunity for me to show up in that way, in
Yes.
that space. I'm doing it here. I did it, and it's just a confirmation of
Yes.
that. So I just
Yes.
wanted to acknowledge that I see this as a confirmation of who, how I'm supposed to walk in the world now, you
Yes.
know
Yes.
not just as a brand strategist, not as a person, just a personal brand strategist, but also as a woman of faith who believes God with every fiber of her being, and
Mm.
wants to show women how to believe in themselves, who wants to show women how, to activate the icon within,
Mm.
to show them what that looks like, and for them to marry the shine effect with their
Mm.
icon factor.
Woo, baby. Baby, listen, tickets are on pre-order, okay? Woo! Woo, gosh. Lord. Okay, listen. Listen. Okay. The reason why I can do this is because Jan created this cup. It says, I trust the next chapter because I know the author.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm ready for the next chapter, and I am not going to. And I got people around me, surround me to remind me, to push me, to not let me slip. I am not going to let anything stop me from moving
Mm-mm.
forward.
Mm-mm. Nope.
In Jesus'
Unstoppable.
name.
Was it Corinne? What's her name? Corinne Hall. What's her name?
Who sings
Hawthorne.
Unstoppable, Gordon?
Is it
Corinne
Corinne Hawthorne?
Hawthorne. Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And we got
Yeah.
our DJ girl.
Yeah.
We got our DJ.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and he's one of the best. He is one of the
Yes,
best DJs.
yes,
My
yes.
mom. So all right, we're gonna go for real. We're now we okay. So now we're just chit chatting, obviously. So my Gordon was the DJ for my mom's wedding. My mom got married early this year, at 78 years old, and he was the DJ. And so my mom, when we talked about the wedding afterwards, she was like, "Oh my gosh," she's like, "He was the best DJ." She's
Aw.
like, he kept them people on the dance floor, which he did, which he did. So yeah, so he was the best DJ for sure.
Aw.
It's the
Yeah.
iconic Cheryl Pullins in the building. Pew, pew, pew,
Oh,
pew.
so he's getting ready. He's getting ready.
We
He's
having a
getting ready.
conference next year. Huh? We having a conference.
What time?
We just planned it all out. We
Yeah.
going back
Now
to
we
it.
just got to get a date and we'll be good to go.
Yep.
I'll
Yep.
show up.
Woo, baby.
Showing up.
Yay.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Awesome. Okay.
All right. Well, check your text message.
Right. Exactly. I'll be like, oh, okay, it's Andrea. Okay.
Woo. I love you, girl.
Love you too. Thank you so much
No, thank
for,
you. Thank you. Thank
you talk a lot about what, I've done for you, but just thank you for holding my feet to the fire
you.
and never letting me forget who I am and what I'm supposed to be doing. Because some days,
Mm.
I told one of my friends, I'm 61 years old. I'll be 62 next year. And I told one of my friends, I'm going to go collect my Social Security and go sit on the beach and call it a day. She said, we are not doing
Nope.
that.
Nope. Nope.
She said, we are not doing that. I was like, okay. I was like, okay. I was just saying. She's like, yeah, that's a no. So thank you. Thank you for holding my feet to the fire, never letting me forget who I am and what God has called me to do in this world, and for um, nudging me when I need to be nudged.
Mm,
I appreciate it. I do.
thank you. Thank you. It's my honor and my pleasure. My honor.
Farrah said 2.5 later, we got homework and I need a new notebook.
I want to know who has the most pages, because Farah and Jan, they just be writing and writing and writing, and they always
Oh
send me pictures with
gosh.
their notes, and I'm just like, you got all of that out of.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Wow. So everyone can find you as Cheryl A. Pullings everywhere.
Yes, on any platform, here on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all the places. I am Cheryl A. Pullins.
Yes, and y'all watch out for Cheryl, because she's gonna be blowing up TikTok very soon, right, Cheryl?
Yeah, because she gave me instructions of what I'm supposed to be doing for the next 30 days. So I'm telling you guys, this ain't just me. It ain't just me. But yeah, so yes, yes, yes. I got
Yo,
it.
y'all go show her some love. Show her some love.
Yes, show me some love on TikTok so I can get my
Yes.
numbers up so I can start to go live over there. Also, follow me on Facebook as well. I'm trying to meet my Facebook challenge, and I need 10 more people to follow me. I'm working on something. I'm working on something. Yes, Jan, I have TikTok homework. Isn't that something? I think I taught her too well.
Uh-huh.
Oh gosh. Thank you. Jan said we got you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. You guys are the best.
Aw, Shine Crew loves Cheryl.
And Cheryl loves Shine Crew.
Yes, yes.
Cheryl loves Shine.
Lisa said the
Lisa said
goal.
goal will be hit before the end of the day. Yeah.
So make it clear what you want them to do. What you said about Facebook and 10 more.
Yeah, Facebook. Well, Facebook. I think if you follow, you can friend or follow. I think it's follows. I think that you follow me on Facebook, because Facebook apparently has these challenges and things you should do, and it's
Oh,
really in an effort so I can get more of my content in front of more people. So yes, if you follow, share my profile, ask other people to follow, whatever, you've been hanging out with me this long, so you know a little bit about me about now. And
yep.
and on TikTok, you can follow me on TikTok, because in order to go live on TikTok, it's funny, I got to change my banner today. Um, in order to go live on TikTok, you need a thousand followers. So I've been working on that slowly, and but yeah. So if you do those two things, and also go to ibelieve.womenwhocoach.com, and you can be a part of the self belief challenge to your inbox.
Yes. All right, y'all. I love you guys so much. And this was awesome.
Yes,
And I can't
it
wait
was very awesome.
to see what else, what comes. Love you, Cheryl.
Love you too. Thank you so much. You've been an amazing television host. Uh, and you have an incredible studio audience.
What does the Bible say? Speak those things that aren't as though they are,
As
right?
though they are. So
Yes.
yeah, but I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you to your amazing community, the Shine Crew. You guys are, I love y'all. I love y'all for real. Thank you. If you can hang in here with us for over 2.5 hours, yeah. Yeah, y'all the real deal.
Yes. They are. They're the best, the absolute best. Nobody's better than them.
Absolutely not.
All right, y'all. See you on Monday. Remember Monday. You know what we're starting on Monday? The prayer of Jabez
Oh, fun.
devotional
Okay. Okay.
by
Okay.
Bruce
Okay.
Wilkinson. The back says, Lord, prepare me for a miracle.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be doing this together starting on Monday, and I'm excited. I'm excited. All right. Love you guys. Bye.
Bye.